lots of things we've been doing since then, documentaries and books with, about the children's books. It's the thing that can, because you have pleasure with it, it's opportunity, that it's the book guys that said, oh, let's write the...
Yeah, well, writing children's books was really, when my daughter was 5, I thought, oh great, I could read her some fairy tales. And so I bought a copy of the Brothers Grimm, and I started reading out I think it was Snow White. That night, as she was going to bed, I read out Snow White. I'm reading out Snow White to him. And it's very long, the Brothers Grimm version. And at the end of it, the wicked stepmother is punished by being made to put on these red-hot iron slippers and dance until she falls down dead. I can't read this. My 5-year-old daughter goes to sleep thinking, oh, I'm so glad they tortured that old woman to death. And I thought, I can't read that. So the next day I started writing stories that I thought I could read. So it's like trying to write her the fairy tales that I wanted her to hear, rather than...
And these evil machines that we can't see, well, now
evil machines.
Yeah, well, what's the point?
Evil machines, it came about because I just thought of the title, actually. I thought, Evil Machines, great title. So it's about, what happened was that Luis Tinoco, who is a composer here in Lisbon, is wonderful, set some of my children's stories to music last year. I came and saw them and thought it was great. And then George Samadisa at the São Luís Theatre suggested another collaboration. And I got this Evil Machines idea in my head. So I wrote it quite quickly and thought, well, I don't know how they're going to do this. You know, it's going to be washing machines and parking meters and motorbikes and vacuum cleaners singing on stage. But that's their problem. And did you do a casting for those machines? Well, not what I wrote. Well, we did later. Yes, I went to read, I bought several. Actually, I did. You're absolutely right. I looked up on the internet and discovered there's a museum of vacuum cleaners in America. I couldn't believe it. So we tried the vacuum cleaners.
And I can say also that in Portuguese cinema there are people that act like vacuum cleaners.
Yes, I think, well, anyway, and one of the vacuum cleaners, I have to tell you, I can tell you this for the first time. This is the only time it's been made public. The first time it's been made public. One of the vacuum cleaners in Evil Machine explodes on stage. Oh! You're the first to hear that. I shouldn't have given it away, but anyway. So then George Samadisa said, well, would you like to come and direct it? And so suddenly the problem became my problem, and we hope we sort of come up with some good solutions.
And you're living in Lisbon?
Yeah, we're living in Lisbon.
What this is the typical Portuguese question. Tell what do you think of Lisbon?
Well, the pavement is very shiny. You have to think like with food, it's also like, oh, wait, the food is very... I'm having a great time. I'm not you. I mean, I'm sort of in the Rua da Misericordia, and I haven't really strayed out of that really. That's very close to the theatre, but I'm having a great time actually. The food is great. It's not the food; it's the restaurants that are so lovely. There's nowhere else in the world where you go into somewhere like the Tasca do Manel. I mean, that's so dignified, you know. Your English accent thing. Yeah, it's just so pleasant to be in a, very nice, quiet, simple place, and it's really good food.
I don't know if I think you don't mind if we ask someone if you're here. If someone wanted to ask anything to Terry, I think that this is the time.
I'll have to put my glasses on.
Aqui está o microfone.
Did Monty Python originate by being stoned at university?
No, oddly enough, I mean, no, oddly enough, we all missed out on drugs. Actually, we were a bit early, but the drug thing all happened a bit after ours. I was in university early. We were in the university early 60s, and it all happened sort of afterwards. So we actually, none of us. Sounds a bit straight, doesn't it? But I never really got into it, really. I mean, I don't smoke, so it's difficult to, Stuff up my nose. Art Garfunkel once gave me some the only reason I knew I'd taken something, right, was that the rest of that evening, people kept saying to me, "Harry, stop talking about your nose being cold." That was the only effect it had on that.
Good evening. I'm sure I'm going to look back at this time in my life and I'm going to regret I didn't do a better question. But you're a Monty Python. This is a silly question, so I think I should do it. Why do you wear your wristwatch on your pants? Is that like the secrecy? Is that a bad or a Python thing?
It's a blow for anarchy. I hate having the time strapped onto my wrist. I don't know, it's sort of flipping around. Ever since I read an article, with the book actually, the Anarchist Handbook, and edited by a guy called George Woodcock, and it's a collection of essays by people like Leo Tolstoy and Proudhon, and it's a selection of quotations from people who are kind of anarchists, really, in their way of thinking. And anarchist, by the way, doesn't mean no organisation. It means anarchy comes from the Greek without a head, and it just means instead of imposing a pattern from above, it's a pattern that comes up from below. So anarchy is an organisation that comes up from the roots rather than is imposed from above. And there was one article about time, and talking about how the development of the clock comes with capitalism, and when you had slavery, you didn't have to have clocks because slaves were slaves. They worked all the time. But when it moved from the slave organised society to people's work time, you had to have clocks to measure how long people worked. And for example, in the 19th century in England, in the Industrial Revolution, factory time, the clocks in the factory were notoriously slow. So it meant